Hello guys, today we have a very unexpected video. I just realized that I want to record different video. The video where I didn't need to be something, where I could be just myself. So today I want to tell you a story about one of the most important trips in my life. We will try to answer the question, is it better sometimes to travel alone in comparison with someone that you don't know? This is an homage to Sabrina Carpenter. This is my mic for today. So completely normal, completely chill. I'm okay with being not pretty in this video. I hope that I will be okay with it. So it's a story time. A while ago, I've been living in Germany for some time, and I was addicted to traveling. When you live in Germany, located is basically in the center of the Europe, so it's very easy for you to go to almost any country you want. And one of my dreams for a really long time, it was Paris. So I would just stay up late a lot of nights to find a very cheap bus ticket to go to Paris. It was like maybe about 5-hour bus trip or something, but I didn't have money. I remember why it's all the same with me trying to travel as cheap as possible, how it was born. It's because I was young. I am young. I'm only 23 and I had no money. I had no money. I was working, but I was living in another country, and despite me saving money, it's because I'm also a money freak. I always want to save money. I always try to buy something that makes financial sense for me. So I wanted to travel, but also I didn't have the money. I would just research how can I make it possible, how can I travel with basically no money. I remember I found tickets, and for a round trip that was 25 euros. For me then it was like very cheap, and I bought this ticket for myself and for two of my friends. At the time we were living together in the same building. It was like building with Ukrainian women. A lot of Ukrainian women lived there, so we kind of all got along. Everything was great. We had a lot in common, but I was the smallest. I was the youngest. A lot of women there, they had children, and I was actually helping with these children a lot, and I was helping with documents for these women, and I thought I did a lot. I don't know if they felt it at the time, but I thought that I'm a great value to this community and that we can be on the same page, we can be equal. So despite that I was very young at the time, I guess I was just 18 or 19, but I thought that they could treat me equally. This problem that I need to unpack, I think it can be for another time. The thing is about this trip to Paris. My two friends that also had tickets for this trip, they couldn't make it. They had some problems with documents, so they couldn't leave Germany, and they decided to stay and just sell their tickets to someone from this house. I found out about it the day before we were supposed to go. It was unexpected for me, and they said, okay, you can take someone with you, or that you can just go alone and we will be okay with losing the tickets. But I wasn't okay with somebody losing money. Again, as I said, I was very into saving, very into reasonable spending. As I am now, I'm still the same. I haven't really changed. So I would just go and try to pitch this amazing trip to Paris to every every woman in this house. But nobody wanted to go because you needed to go tomorrow. So like tomorrow you need to go, you need to decide today. It's very spontaneous. I get it why nobody wanted to go. But mind you that I've already known where we would be sleeping, and I used couch surfing. You know, I love couch surfing. So basically the accommodation was free. You could just go. I don't know, if somebody would tell me that I would have this opportunity, I would take it, no questions asked. But no one wanted to go, and there was one woman who was new at the time. I believe she just moved to the building a week before this all happened. Despite the fact that I didn't really knew her, I suggested that she will go with me, and she agreed. And I was very happy to have somebody going with me, because at the time I was quite scared going somewhere alone. the interesting part of the story starts when we actually got on the bus. A bus was late. It's normal for Flixbus to be late, and the girl who was with me, let's change her name. Let's name her Rosie. Rosie started being very annoyed. I don't know if Rosie has traveled before. To be fair, it was quite late. It was maybe 1 or 2 hours late. And she started being really, really annoyed and pouring a lot of negative thoughts onto me, which at the time I thought, okay, she's frustrated, the bus is late, maybe she didn't expect that, it's okay, we're on the bus, we'll go. When we arrived, she started complaining about a lot of things, that we arrived too early in the morning and it's still very dark, and that we needed to go to the couch surfer and leave our bags, and that the couch surfer lived too far away from the place that we are, which is interesting points, but Paris is a very big city. I think the fact that we had to stay there for free is a miracle itself, so I don't think that I would complain about it. But anyway, it's not a problem. We are going to a metro station, subway. And there's where something interesting starts. Before my trip, I always do the full research of everything that we will be doing on the trip, and I decide on the transportation and approximate budget. So when we got to the station, I said to her that according to my plans, we will need about 10 tickets to the subway. It was back then where you could buy individual tickets or you can use a card. And me, I thought that I would go to Paris more and more, so I decided to buy a card with 10 rides on it, and I suggested for her to do the same or to buy 10 individual tickets. I don't remember if I told you this, but she was with her daughter, so they needed 12, oh not 12, oh my god, they needed 20 tickets. And she said to me that I'm too young to tell her what to do and she can decide for herself, and she said that she will buy 2 tickets for her and for her daughter to go to Couchsurfer, and then she will figure out the rest, so she won't be buying a lot of tickets ahead. I warned her that actually in Paris you can't buy tickets on every station. Sometimes there is just no machine to buy the tickets, but she said that again, I'm too young to give her advice. She knows what to do, and we went. The couch surfer who hosted us was so nice. I liked him so much. He was so genuine, a little bit shy, I guess. He had a very nice apartment. For Paris, if you know something about Paris, to have an apartment with 3 rooms, that's a very big flex. And I was sleeping in the living room, and he suggested that Rosie and her daughter would sleep in other room that apparently he just wasn't using. The room was very modest, nothing special, was just room, normal size, and a mattress that was on the floor. For me, it's nothing horrible. The mattress on the floor, it's a normal practice for people. If it was a room that he wasn't using, it's okay that he didn't spend the fortune on the bed for people that would just stay there for free. I think he was kind enough to let us in, and to be fair, we've been there 4 days, so it's 4 free nights in Paris. You know how much, for example, a hostel in Paris costs? I'm not even talking about hotels or Airbnb. The Paris is very expensive. So I was forever grateful, but Rosie, oh my god, she was complaining all the time. She was complaining about the apartment, that it was not as clean, and she was complaining about the mattress on the floor, towels, that he didn't have enough towels for all of us, which is, again, the guy lives by himself in the apartment with 3 rooms. He is kind enough to let you in, and you are going complaining about every single stuff that you see. For me, it was just so rude. I need to acknowledge that Rosie didn't speak English, and for me it was such a relief, because the couch surfer who was hosting us, he was so kind. He was coming up to me and asking, oh my god, I see that Rosie is so sad, is everything okay, did I do something? And I was like, oh no, everything is okay, she just has a headache, oh she's just tired, oh it's just her problems, personal problems, and she would be so rude to tell me about the problems in front of him, knowing that he doesn't understand. On the one hand, I wanted him to know how bad of a person she is, but on the other hand, I didn't want him to know that somebody says something bad about his apartment or about himself. So bad enough at this point, I was pretty annoyed with her. I actually started questioning my decision to bring her along with me, and I thought that, okay, if I would just went alone, I would feel much better. But again, we're only in the middle. The trip hasn't even started yet. As you remember, we just got to Couchsurfer to put our clothes and stuff there and go have a nice time in Paris. And I had pretty planned itinerary, which is, again, I think is very good when you go with a person and he has everything planned out and you don't need to think twice and you don't need to research your trip on the go. So I would be grateful if somebody organized a trip for me. But again, Rosie was a very interesting individual. When we got to the station from the house of our couchsurfer to go to the center of the city to actually do something, who would have known there were no machines to buy tickets for the metro? Yes. So I had my card, I just beep, and I went, nothing special, but Rosie with her daughter can't go inside. When I asked Rosie what is she going to do, she just looked at the people. That was very convenient to see that there was some couple of people that would just open the door for the metro from the inside, so they didn't pay, but they went inside, and she just did the same. At this time, I was speechless, because again, I'm reminding you, Rosie is with a child. Okay, like her daughter was about 13 years old, but still it's a child. And the child takes after you. The child repeats everything that you do. If the child sees that her mother openly breaks the law, doing something that is forbidden, I don't really think that it's a very good example. I was shocked. But Rosie would just brag about how smart she is and how she didn't pay anything to ride this metro for this trip. When we got out on the station that we were supposed to, it's one of the very popular stations for tourists, we saw a policewoman who were checking the tickets. I don't know how karma works, but it worked. I think it was a perfect timing because she's done something illegal and now she's going to pay for it. I was so annoyed with her at this moment that me, who knows English, I just stepped aside and let her handle the situation. I remind you, she doesn't know English. So she was trying to show this policewoman that she lost it. She had the ticket, but she doesn't have it anymore. Very cool, very good actress. I really liked what the policewoman said to her, because she said, yes, I believe you. I believe that you had the ticket, but you need to keep the ticket till the end of the ride, or you need to pay a fine. That was so elegant. And she's like, I don't have no money. She was trying to lie that she doesn't have any money. And policewoman, again, so elegant. She's like, yeah, of course, no problem. Then we are going to the police station and we will figure out what to do with you. She's in another country. She's pretending to not have money for the fine, and they are threatening her with the ride to the police station. I felt that somebody heard my praise, so she ended up paying fine for her and for her daughter. It ended up costing her 100 euros. I want to point out that the single ride for the metro at the time was, I guess, 290. So you can see that she could have just bought the tickets when I told her to, and she would have avoided all this nonsense with the fine and with breaking the law. Why did I start telling you this story? It's because the rest of the trip, it was the first day of our trip. We had 3 more to go. The rest of the trip, she would behave horribly. Sometimes I considered crying. That's how bad it was. Even with this atmosphere, with constant nagging, constant phone calls to her relatives and family saying how bad Paris is, how horrible is everything is Paris. Oh my god, Paris is the worst city in the world. Even in this atmosphere, I enjoy the Paris so much, but still, when you're being with a person who's constantly hating on the city because of their own stupidity, it's hard to enjoy the Paris. I was feeling that she just stole this trip from me. For a couple of years after that, I really felt like she robbed me from this experience. I wasn't completed. I needed to repeat this trip to Paris. Spoiler, I did. But for me, it was so showing. I remember when we were at the top of the very, very high hill in the Paris. If you've been there, there's a very big church. I believe it's called Sacré-Cœur, which is a very beautiful church. And the view from there is even more beautiful. And I remember there I was standing. There's no way to see the Eiffel Tower from there. Everything except an Eiffel Tower. And I thought how magical this view is. I felt like I was flying very, very high. And I remember when she was standing near me and she said, "Oh, look, there's a rat in the bushes." Yeah, of course, there was a rat. It's okay. It's Paris. I knew where I was going when I was booking the trip. That I was expecting to see some rats. I was expecting to see them in the metro. I don't know if it's okay for a rat to be in the bushes. I wasn't bothered by her. I was focused on the magical view that was there. And she was looking down there to the bushes to find this rat, which for me was very interesting, which is actually the polar opposite of my second trip to Paris, which also was with a person that I barely knew. I don't know what I was thinking about. It was my neighbor, and I was planning to go to Paris alone because I thought that it was a destiny, because the tickets for the Paris dropped really, really fast, and I was able to book a flight. And I thought that, yeah, it's a sign, I need to go. And for a really, really long time, I couldn't find a couch surfer to host me, and I started feeling very sad. Actually, I didn't want to spend money on a hotel or in a hostel because I knew that if I would spend money there, it would mean that I would need to save, and I would need to cancel some of my experiences that I wanted to do, or to eat from the supermarket a little bit more often than I was supposed to. At my mom's birthday, my neighbor went on the party, and she heard that I was going to Paris in a couple of weeks, and she said that it was her dream to go to Paris. She was saying, "Please take me with you. I will pay more money for flight," because it was 2 weeks before we head out. She ended up paying almost twice as me for the same flight, the same plane. But she was so enthusiastic. I thought maybe I could try it. But again, I barely knew her. I knew that she was our neighbor, and that's all. But how grateful this person was, how in love she was with Paris, how much gratitude she was showing me. It was unbelievable. Even when something went wrong, she was optimistic, she was positive, and despite the fact that I think she's twice my age also, and she listened to me, and she listened to my advice, and it was so refreshing for me, remembering how Rosie told that I'm too young to give her advice, and this person, let's just name her Lily, she was just very grateful. When she found out that we would be living for free in Paris for 4 days, she was so happy. She was constantly saying thank you to me. She was constantly saying thank you to our host. She was super supportive, and it was just like a polar opposite trips for me, with 2 people that I barely knew. What I wanted to say was this little story time. First, that if you invite somebody on a trip, I guess regardless of the fact if you know this person well or not, sometimes this person, I think, in my personal opinion, this person can ruin your experience. Maybe not 100%, but yeah, it is possible. But also, so I guess the conclusion is that you never know what kind of colors would your trip have when you take somebody with you. But I can assure you, when you travel solo, the only person who can nag is you. The only person who can ruin the trip for you is you. So it's for you to decide to go solo or to take somebody with you, and I actually liked telling my story. I have so many stories from my trips. I have so many stories from my life. So if you like this video, please write in the comments, do you prefer traveling solo or with other people? And thank you so much for listening to me. I will see you next week.